Coming up, why Wasps, co-owners of the Ricoh Arena, want Coventry City to continue playing at the stadium.
Why more and more drivers and cyclists are filming other road users breaking the law.
And it's a happy 70th birthday to the region's oldest police community support officer. Coming up, why Wasps, co-owners of the Ricoh Arena, want Coventry City to continue playing at the stadium.
Now the latest ITV News Central with Samina Ali Khan and Bob Warman.
Welcome to the programme. Tonight's top stories. Rugby at the Ricoh. Wasps set up for play but insists Coventry City will stay.
Wasps moving in categorically does not mean the Sky Blues moving out.
With onboard cameras, how motorists and cyclists are filming dangerous drivers.
Calls for a transformation as conservationists claim the famous hall is at risk of ruin.
Oh yeah, that's nice. That's good.
And a non-stop cop, the community officer still serving in his 70s.
Good evening. Coventry City Football Club will play alongside rugby club Wasps at the Ricoh Arena. Wasps is now part owner of the stadium after they bought the City Council's 50% share of the business.
Football will be played on a Saturday, rugby on a Sunday, and the Wasps say they'll also build a new training ground. The City Council say they've made money from the deal for the council taxpayer. Our business correspondent Mark Goff.
That's right, your eyes do not deceive you. They are rugby posts where there should be goal posts at the Sky Blues ground. Today, some of the Wasps squad came to what is now their new home after announcing they'd bought a 50% share in the Ricoh from Coventry City Council. It's now the Wasps' new home, and also, after a brief absence, will continue to be Coventry City's home.
Wasps moving in categorically does not mean the Sky Blues moving out, far from it. We want the Sky Blues to stay and for us to be able to build a successful and long-term relationship with them.
How much Wasps paid Coventry City Council for its 50% share remains a commercial secret, but the authority, which spent more than £13 million building the stadium, says it's got its money back and more.
Over the years we have, and with this deal we're definitely well in pocket. I was very clear from day one, any deal had to wipe its face. People of Coventry haven't lost, in fact they've gained.
Andy Good is Wasps' fly half, Coventry born and bred, and a Sky Blues fan.
I've been as hurt as anyone seeing Coventry play at Northampton over the last couple of years, and having Coventry City back at the Ricoh Arena is what everyone wants in Coventry, and as a Coventry fan that includes me too. Coventry City will have the Ricoh on a Saturday, Wasps on a Sunday. After a turbulent time at the Ricoh, today was a show of unity.
I think it's time for us to move on. It's my view that a local authority is actually not in the business of running sports venues, etc. And the people who are should be doing it, and we're convinced that Wasps and their owners have come in with a very clear agenda of making a good business, Wasps doing well. They were absolutely happy to accept the condition that Coventry City Football Club must be able to play here, must be able to fulfil their fixtures, and that they would work extremely closely with Coventry Rugby Club.
The chief executive of Wasps today said they'll be talking to the remaining shareholder, the Higgs charity, about buying more of the business. Mark Goff, ITV News, Coventry.
Well, in a statement, Coventry City Football Club said, "We welcome and look forward to sitting down with Wasps in the coming days and weeks to pin down the details about how we can work together, not only for the good of the two organisations but also for the wider Coventry community." The club will continue to play at the Ricoh in the short and medium term, and that deal remains unchanged with the Wasps' purchase of the council's Ricoh share.
They went on to say, "We are proud that we are financially stable for the first time in more than a decade. We have a fully integrated football model. We are undertaking increased community initiatives. And on Tuesday night, we ended a first-team game with 9 academy graduates on the field of play. I think the future looks positive for the club, both on and off the pitch."
A farm owner has pleaded guilty to forcing a vulnerable missing man from Kidderminster to work for him for more than 13 years. David Daniel Doran, seen here on the right, has been on trial at Cardiff Crown Court for the past 3 weeks on a compulsory labour charge alongside his father Dan Doran. It's after Darryl Simister was found in an appalling state on a farm near Newport in South Wales last year. Today, Doran Jr. changed his plea, which resulted in the prosecution dropping the case against his father.
Staff at a bar in Birmingham say they've been forced to host members of the EDL before a city centre rally this weekend for the second time in 2 years. Bar research say they've reluctantly agreed to the request from West Midlands Police because their venue is the only one big enough to house the group. They say they firmly rejected the police suggestion to host the group again because they don't support the EDL in any way, shape or form. Police say they understand the bar's concerns but praise their help in what they call a complex policing operation. Bar research say they'll once again be donating any profits from the event to charity. A number of people were arrested on public order offences during last year's protests, none of which happened at the bar.
More drivers and cyclists are filming others breaking the law and then reporting them to the police. One cyclist claims he's filmed hundreds of drivers using mobile phones at the wheel.
But is this sort of public policing fair or even safe? The Home Office wants to bring in common standards on how such footage is dealt with. Chris Halpin reports.
David Sherry cycles to and from work each day. On his helmet is a camera. He says it's protection from potentially dangerous driving. And if on his journey he sees a driver on the phone, he'll film it and sometimes confront them. He then sends that video to the police. He says drivers have received warning letters, points and courses as a result. A bus driver even lost his job after David apparently filmed him with a phone at the wheel. The cyclist is himself a bus driver, but he says he's not sympathetic.
I'm considered to be a professional driver and I pride myself on that. I've got a clean licence and I pride myself on my road safety ability. But there's people out there who've got no consideration to other road users or vulnerable road users, and they're the ones I wish to expose.
Footage from in-car dashboard cameras has led to criminal convictions. This motorist was convicted of dangerous driving after overtaking on a countryside road. But is it helpful or indeed safe for the public to take policing into their own hands? Sometimes it appears not. David Sherry's surveillance activity has resulted in some nasty confrontations, including one where he was punched. So how do police deal with so-called dashcam video? Well, some forces told us they receive it and take it further on a case-by-case basis. Others admit there are problems verifying such footage and viewing it all would take up more resources. But is it justified for road users to be filming each other without their knowledge?
Well, if they're doing something wrong, then why shouldn't they send it into the police?
Quite a good idea for insurance purposes, like if someone bashes his car up and runs away.
It's like another big brother, isn't it? You know what I mean? So it's bad enough with the speed cameras, cameras on the road, cameras everywhere. What do? You know what I mean?
Like it or not, footage like this is leading to criminal convictions. So even when the police aren't around, drivers may start thinking twice about who's watching. Chris Halpin, ITV News.
A passenger has been given a £1,000 bill by ticket inspectors after boarding the wrong train in Birmingham. The man was travelling from New Street Station to London Euston with a group of 38 family and friends, but they'd all bought London Midland-only tickets, which were not valid on Virgin trains. The mistake was noticed in Coventry and the group were given the option of paying or facing a fine and prosecution through the courts.
Hereford United fans are expected to hold a peaceful protest tonight over the way their club is being run. It's being held at the conference premier match between Kidderminster Harriers and Welling United. Local councillor Jim Kenyon has told ITV News Central that Hereford supporters have been allowed inside the away stand of the stadium during the match to hold their protest. The club was expelled from the football conference in June for failing to pay its debts. The Supporters Trust say the protest is being held for a number of reasons, including unpaid wages to former employees.
Now, it was described as one of the finest country houses in England. Yet today, what remains of Trentham Hall has been listed as one of the top 10 most endangered buildings.
It's been placed on the 2014 list by the Victorian Society. The owners of the building, however, deny it's at risk and today revealed plans to restore it into a number of cottages. Keith Wilkinson reports.
It's certainly seen better days. Look close up, and the remains of Trentham Hall near Stoke-on-Trent are crumbling. Local people are very proud of what was once a grand country house from the 1800s.
In the country of the River Trent, at Trentham, you'll find this coat of arms over the entrance to the hall. It proclaims to the world that the house was once a noble mansion, the seat of the Dukes of Sutherland. Now the gardens are open to the public, and they're very beautiful. The gardens, I mean, not the public.
Today, only parts of the building survive, alongside the magnificent gardens, which are still open to the public.
It's a little bit sad, and it really needs a bit of work doing to it to restore it to its former glory. If you look at the history of the building and what it used to be, it just could be so much more.
The owners, St Modwen Properties, deny the building is at risk, and they say they have new plans for its restoration as part of their long-term project to improve Trentham Gardens.
And the plans that we're now working on are to convert the remains of these buildings into beautiful cottages to create a courtyard of really exciting houses for the future of this hall. Well, it needs substantial refurbishment, as you can see, but I don't think it's getting any worse. We're careful to make sure that it doesn't get any worse. So yes, if it was left for another 50 years, it would be at risk, but the timescale we're talking about will see it restored into its former glory.
Buildings have been sitting unused, largely uncared for, though not completely, for a number of years, as one would expect of any building that is not properly maintained. It has suffered greatly. I visited about a month ago, and the buildings are really in quite a terrible state. So something needs to happen.
The owners say things are happening. They say they hope to start work on their restoration project here within 18 months. Keith Wilkinson, ITV News.